Welcome to another top 5 with Kris 05, guys. Today we're gonna be checking out all of the best decks after the latest patch came through. Not that much has changed, but we're definitely seeing some differences in the best performers right now, so it's gonna be interesting for you to know what the new top dogs are. I'm gonna talk about their mulligans, win rates, general tips, and everything you need to know in order to do well with them. So if you find the video helpful, a like and subscribe would be amazing. But now, let's check out the decks.
You are not prepared!
The first deck on the list still is going to be Quest Warlock, and this deck still is mighty strong. We are seeing some interesting differences in this best performer right now, and I honestly would not agree with these changes for top legend at least, but apparently a lot of Diamond 5 to legend players have been finding success with this one. The main key differences in here would be we are having a single Hearthstone, so you can actually have a little bit of extra ways of actually restoring health, and also it's an extra 0 card you could be getting as temporary. The other difference is we have a single copy of Sketch Artist, which honestly sounds sketchy to me. Get it? Whatever. And we also still have Kerrigan in here, which I do find to be a little bit on the expensive side, but it's still a part of most of the Quest Warlock decks. Instead of the Sketch Artist, we have a second copy of Sweetened Snowflurry, which I do agree the deck could do better without one of these, but honestly all 4 of these cards are probably preferable for my liking, but it is what it is. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same for the Quest Warlock archetype, and you can definitely check out my detailed guides about this deck if you really want to know how to pilot it well. Let's see what the updated matchups are looking like right now, and we are gonna see plenty of green in here, and why wouldn't we? The deck is kinda cracked. Dummy Warrior and Taunt Warrior would be on the negative side for you, mainly because they could be cheating out a big fat Tortolaw against you nice and quick, and there's nothing you can do about it. Other than that, things like Hand Buff Death Knight might be a little bit too strong, Pain Demon Hunter might be slightly faster than you would like, and Taunt Druid apparently if you manage to find one. For the mulligan going first, here's what we have. You are gonna love holding on to things like Blood Petal Biome, Cursed Catacombs is great, Spellunker is the best thing you could be doing on turn 2, straight up holding on to Solarium could be MVP, if you don't have that Sketch Artist would be great, Mass Production is acceptable, not the best thing in the world, and also Sweetened Snowflurry might make the cut if you already don't have your Solarium and Sketch Artist. Going second, it's kind of the same deal, but here things like Questing Assistant become a little bit more keepable, and technically Hellfire, depending on the matchup, might make some sense, even though you still would probably be better off if you actually follow your own game plan rather than trying to negate the opponents. For other good Warlock decks, technically we even could have included the new Egg Warlock deck out there, which I did give you a detailed video about a few days ago, and yeah, the deck is actually kinda strong, guys. It's not the easiest thing in the world to be playing, but if you know how to play it, you will be winning some very easy games with this one, and it's a very fun deck to be playing, a little bit refreshing and everything like that, so at least something came out of the mini set, you know? Other than that, we have tons of different iterations of Quest Warlock, and this is the variant I showed you, so it definitely does have the stats to back it up with decent sample size, but there are other iterations of the deck with similar win rates and similar sample sizes, so the choice is yours. Anything Quest Warlock should be giving you a lot more wins than losses. On the number 2 spot, Leech Death Knight is still as strong as ever, and this is the eggless variant, although I really do find that egg variant to be very fun as well, and it does actually have quite a few extra layers of win conditions you could be following thanks to it, but to each their own. This list is not running even a single copy of Chillfallen Baron, which is kinda interesting, but instead you do have yourself a Zephyrus, Creature of Madness is still MVP in this one, Scarab Keychain is an interesting inclusion in here, basically improves the odds of you actually doing something on turn 1, which definitely ain't the worst. But other than that, the deck is very standard stuff, nothing really stands out to me here. You still manage to cheat out tons of extra stats around turn 5 or 6 with the help of Exarch Maladar, into Narlax, into Acera, or into Firak, into Stitch Giant, so yeah, you can definitely vomit quite a few stats like that. You have yourself the good Leech package here, so you can be sucking off the opponent nice and low, and all around the deck is very disgusting to be facing, but if you want to be playing Death Knight, this is probably the way to go. For the matchups, we don't have that much stats on this particular list, but you are positive from what we're seeing. We could check out similar variants with a lot more sample size. Here's one: instead of Zephyrus it has Headless Horseman, and instead of Scarab it has Chillfallen Baron, but the win rate is a lot lower than this one. Not a lot, but at least 1% more. But still, let's check what the matchups are looking like here. Quest Pally would be on the negative, Quest Warrior as well, the rest definitely doable. When going first, you are going to be holding on to the good cheap stuff. Creature of Madness would be amazing because it also gives you a solid turn 3. Infested Breath Breath could be awesome, Elise straight up as a keep, Sanguine Infestation would be amazing, Xavius especially if you don't have another better thing to be curving into, and if you're curving into Exarch Maladar even, that might also be a consideration because that really does give you a huge pop-off potential. On the coin, again, we can see the good old 1, 2, 3, so mulligan accordingly. This is the list I showed you, almost 60% win rate with above 1000 games, but we do have several different iterations. Here's the one we looked for the matchups, definitely very solid as well with the Chofallen and with the Headless Horseman. And we're gonna have to scroll quite a lot to see something different here, including a variation with the egg, so I guess that does say a lot. Hand Buff Death Knight is also up there, and Space Death Knight is definitely very good as well, but it does take a little bit of extra skill in order to really pull it off. The variants with the egg do have a very modest win rate to them. I'm not sure if it's due to the way people play it or just because the egg is bad. Maybe just the egg is bad, I don't know, guys. On the number 3 spot, we have a deck I did not expect to see today, but Elemental Shaman actually does have the stats, guys. Elemental Shaman is actually cracked, fast, cheap, so why wouldn't you play such a thing? The only legendary cards in here would be Turbulus, which is from a mini set, and City Chief Esho, which is free from the free reward track, so basically this is a very budget deck, which did make it into the top 3 of the best decks in Hearthstone right now, guys. There's nothing really too special about this deck, it just curves out like a champ, it has a lot of strong elementals, a lot of phase damage, and that's really about it. What else do you need to be having a fast, strong deck nowadays? Just go face, be efficient about it, and this deck is just that. I did just give you a detailed guide about this deck, so definitely give that one a check and the games with it, so you can really know what you should be doing with and against this deck. For the matchups, here's what we have just yet. Very bad against Leech Death Knights, but very good against Quest Pally, Questlock, and Protoss Priest. Well, not very, but positive here, and insane against Quest Pallies. So if you hate Quest Pallies with a passion, definitely slap this bad boy. For the mulligan section, going first and second for that matter, name of the game is curve out like a champ, get yourself 1 or 2 good 1-drops, curve into a good 2-drop. Turbulus would be decent, even though as you see people keep the hell out of it, but he is indeed not that amazing of a keep. He is okay, you don't have that many Battlecry elementals in the deck, but you do have several, and it is a decent free drop to be plopping, so not the worst thing in the world. Not to mention this thing also buffs things on the board already, so if you open up with a Firefly into a menacing Nimbus, well, Turbulus on free would be a +2/+2 on the board as well if those stuck. Cinderfin is also not a bad thing to be curving into. Living Flame, basically try to have a decent curve with your elementals, do not hold on to spells because you have yourself Living Flame and Volcanic Crashers to fish those out, so there's that. On the coin, it's again plenty of the same stuff. Your Turbulus even better because you could even technically coin it out on 2, but it's really not gonna be the most amazing thing in the world to be doing. For other good Shaman decks, we also have Nebula Shaman doing respectably well, but look at this, Elemental Shaman 59% win rate on the dot and 1200 games. That's pretty decent in my book. Several iterations of Nebula Shaman, none of which are really standing out too much. Quest Shaman still absolute god-awful, and Evolve Shaman, what is that even? On the number 4 spot, we have another deck I didn't expect to be actually the best performer for the class, even though the class does have 3 other good archetypes right now. Shopper Demon Hunter is actually the best according to the stats. Not by much, but it actually is. The gist of Shopper Demon Hunter is, it's basically called Shopper because you have this in here, and with it, you could actually do something like Spirit Peddler on your Window Shopper, making it into a 0 mana, and after that you can play this thing and get yourself an extra 0 mana 6/5 on the same turn, which could be kinda huge. We also have things like Umbra in here, so you can be repeating the nasty death rattles from the Spirit Peddler, as well as some of the things you've discovered out of the Window Shopper, I guess. And I'm assuming you don't even want to be playing this with tons of death rattles in it, you basically just want to repeat 1 or 2 Spirit Peddlers that way. Maybe they land on your shoppers again, that kind of stuff. But also reducing the cost of your Eldari Inquisitor wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, same with Ferak, so yeah, again, another deck that you could be abusing Ferak nice and early with. What a time to be alive, random bullshit fiesta takes the wheel. I will give this deck a try tonight and maybe give you a detailed guide about it tomorrow or the day after, so be on the lookout for those, but now let's check out what the matchups are looking like. We have plenty of it, and Pain Demon Hunter would be a little bit too quick for your liking. Quest Warlock also very negative, so kinda questionable how this deck is this high on the win rate in general. Ferak Rogue a little bit on the negative, Dummy Warrior and Dawn Warrior also kinda not super happy fun time for ya. For the mulligan going first, here's what we have. You want to get yourself the weapon, the card draw, a little bit of extra dormant idiots. Elise could be amazing. game, and with her you could actually get yourself 1 mana extra copies of Spirit Peddlers, or more like 1/1 Spirit Peddlers. Infestation is pretty decent, Insect Claw as well, and Illidari and Nightmare Xavius can also make the cut. It's kinda interesting seeing Wisp in this deck, by the way. I'm not even sure why the hell we have this card in here, aside from it being a cheap minion you could remove from your hand so that your Spirit Peddler can land on a good minion. I really don't see the benefit of having this freaking card. Like, if that's the deal, just get yourself an extra spell, you know? Do let me know in the comments, maybe I'm missing something obvious here, but I'm only human. Still haven't played this deck and haven't faced it too much against me either. On the coin, here's what we have as well. Pretty much same stuff, so mulligan accordingly. Here's what the stats are looking like. Shopper Demon Hunter, above 500 games with almost 59% win rate. Right after it, Ravenous Cliff Dive Demon Hunter does have basically the same win rate with more than twice the amount of games, so if we gotta be completely real, this deck probably should have been the better deck to include, but I already included this into the last, what was that, 24 top 5s? I don't know, I'm very bad at math, but yeah, Ravenous Cliff Dive Hunter is still as strong as ever with the Califero bullshit. Pain Demon Hunter is also pretty strong, and we can even see Space Demon Hunter doing quite well, and in top legend people are actually killing with this here and there, but nowadays it's not as amazing, according to the win rate at least. And on the last spot, again, we do have Beast Hunter. Shocking, I know. Nothing really has changed for this list. Again, I do have detailed videos about this thing, so we really don't need to be wasting too much time about this deck. Just check out my guides about it. It's really not rocket science. It's a very cheap deck, and it's also one of the options for new players if they're new or returning. This deck is amongst the choices you could be having, but the fact that it's basically a budget deck, again, City Chief Esho is basically free, so you only need to get yourself a couple of epic cards. It's a very, very nice budget deck. Great for climbing, not great for your choice if you're a returning player though. On the matchup section, here's what we have as updated stats. Quest Lock not great, and same with Leech Death Knight, but the rest of the stuff pretty good, including against Quest Pally, you will be killing them. Mulligan also hasn't changed much. You're trying to curve off nicely, be sticky, and pull off a big ass RC Rampage on 4 or on 3 if you're on the coin, and you should be right as rain. On the coin, again, we could see much of the same stuff, so again, try to be sticky, and here turn 3 RC Rampage could be devastating. For other Hunter decks, we could talk about also Discover Hunter, but right now it's looking very dog watery. But to be fair, this deck is very hard to play well, so here mostly the win rate is because of skill issues, and top legend you could see people doing a killing with this thing. Other than that, people have been experimenting with some of the newly buffed cards, but so far to no avail. For the classes we haven't mentioned, starting off with Druid, Aviana Druid actually had some crazy stats the first day after the patch. I'm not sure why, maybe it was a fluke or something, but this thing literally had 70% win rate or something. I don't know, it was looking crazy. But in all seriousness, Dollhouse Druid should be the proper deck to be climbing with when it comes down to Druid, but you really need to be good with that one. For Mage, Elemental Mage is also a great budget option for most, and you could be climbing with these with this one. It does have very good win rate, decent sample size, so definitely a great choice. Protoss Priest apparently is back on the rise too, and Big Spell Mage is also very playable, and same can be said for Quest Mage. So in all seriousness, we have 4 actually competitive mage archetypes right now, but none of them really are top tier. With Paladin, if we gotta be honest, we could have included Aggro Pally in this list instead of Beast Hunter. They had basically the same win rate with similar sample size, and this Aggro Pally list still pretty much the same as the normal list we have been used to seeing. We can also see another Aggro Pally with some different iterations. Quest Pally is still pretty strong, and we did see plenty of people try Drunk Pally because of the tournament, but as you see, it's not actually on the lists. People are not good enough with it to pull off good enough win rates, and we don't even see good enough sample sizes. I don't know if the deck has too much variance or not, but so far it's under the radar. Going down to Priest, Bandage Priest is actually top tier with a very small sample size. As for the big sample sizes, we can see several iterations of Protoss Priest doing pretty well right now. West Priest is actually looking respectable here, very small sample size, but decent win rate for sure. And I think I did face this deck, and it was pretty annoying. They don't complete the quest fast, but the imbue package is very stally, and it gives them infinity value, so it could be pretty decent indeed. Here's a big sample size Bandage Priest, which is looking okay, and they started running things like Nexus Prince Jafar, which is kind of weird, but it does give you bigger, better Wilted Shadows, I guess, which could be the way to go. With Rogue, if we gotta be completely honest, Rogue Rogue is probably the best deck in the game right now, at least in top legend it is, but you gotta be really good with this deck in order to be pulling off most of its shenanigans. It does have quite a lot of random factor to it. Being able to pull off super quick Firax definitely helps, and also having Asha main is insane for the most part, but you gotta be good enough with it in order to really get the maximum out of it. Other than that, Cycle Rogue is still above 50%, and damn, this deck literally refuses to die. It did get a little bit of improvement thanks to the Crystal Tusk, but not by much. Other than that, we don't see too much out there. Space Rogue is playable, and we did see it on the tournaments, but it's not really that good in most people's hands. And last but not least, with Warrior, it does seem Dummy Warrior and Quest Warrior do counter a lot of the top meta decks if you guys been paying attention. They kept on repeating as slightly negative matchups for the most part, but in overall, they do have a modest 55-ish% win rate, which definitely ain't bad, but it's no top tier deck either. But if you want to be countering most of the matchups you will be seeing, Dummy Warrior and Quest Warrior definitely would be the way to go. There's even an interesting looking new Dragon Warrior out there, which so far does not have amazing stats, but it's definitely out there. I don't know. So that's gonna be it for this top 5, guys. Hope this video helps you figure out what you want to be playing in the new Hearthstone meta. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, a like and subscribe would be amazing. And don't forget you can catch me live on stream each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.